Wait, Eric, 1 second. Okay, we're live. So I'm going to share this to mute this. Okay, Eric. Yeah, you want to go ahead and share your screen so we can talk about what we're trying to
do. What?
Do you want to share your screen?
Okay. On Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay. I shared.
Okay, so we're just going live here. It's a quick demo of Pandaflow where we're going to create a CRM from basically Twitter data. So the use case here we're trying to do is we're on the verge of raising some funds. We want to find some seed investors just from people who are a little bit more active on Twitter. So we'll see what we can get, extract out of Twitter and put them on Google Sheet, and then basically enrich or enhance the data based on that. So I'll let Eric take over the actual demo. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, hello everybody. So the first thing we're going to do is just create a workflow and give it a name. So we're just going to give it a long name. So the workflow, it's an empty workflow. Right now there's no steps. The first step is going to be finding users on Twitter. So they're going to select a Twitter connector. And there's already a Twitter connector, but it's to be able to add a new one is pretty simple. You just click on add another connector and you specify a name, and there's OAuth to allow you to add it. But since we already have one existing, we'll just continue with it. The resource, we're going to look for all the users that have seed investor in their name or in their description. So we're just going to type seed investor in here, and we're going to limit, just to be able to test it, we'll limit the count to 10. We're also going to give it a name, to be kind of obvious what it does. So after I close it, it now appears here. It will get saved automatically, as you can see, auto saved. So after we got all these users, what I usually like to do is after writing every step, I like to test it. So because if there's an error, then you have a lot of steps that you have to debug. So it's easier to just step as you're adding new steps. So you click on run, it will run, and you see there's 10 Twitter users, and a lot of them should have seed investor in their name. So this is working correctly. Now what I want to be able to do is I want to go through each one of these users returned from Twitter, and I would like to extract key phrases from their description so I can easily add them to the Google Sheet and be able to see them in a nice Google Sheet view. So to do that, I'm just going to add a simple loop. I click on loop, and I'm going to rename it to for each Twitter user. And then here I'm going to specify, I'm going to select this guy. So it's in the step find Twitter users, and I'm going to just select response because it's a list. So what this is going to do is going to go through each one of these users returned, and I'm going to do something interesting with it. I'm going to use Azure. Azure has a nice set of one second. It has a nice set of machine learning and AI tools, and one of the tools that exists there is, so we have Azure AI here. I'm going to drag and drop it here. And basically, we're going to use extract key phrase operation from here. So the connector is the same way. You can use existing connector, you can add a new connector. So here we're going to use text analytics, and we're going to use key phrase extraction. And for language, we're going to use English. For ID, we're going to use one of the Twitter item ID, which should be pretty unique. So we are selecting in the loop, there's a current item, and we're going to use ID from here. Of course, it has two of them. We only need one. And for text, this is the text that we need to parse to be able to extract phrases. And we're going to look for description. So this is going to be description. Now, so if I want to be able to, now I added a couple more steps, I want to be able to test it. But before that, of course, you got to give it a very important for readability, you have to give it a readable name. So I'm going to run it again. I mean, right now, all it's going to do is go through every Twitter user and extract key phrases from their description. So let's see what it looks like. So as you can see, for each Twitter user, it does this, and that should happen about 10 times. So let's take a look at the last one. So this is some Twitter, Andy McLaughlin. And this is the text that they pass, and these are the key phrases that we extract. So in here, as you can see, there is like vertical SaaS, productivity, and other phrases, what Microsoft considers to be important key phrases. So this seems to be working as expected. Now, going back into here, we're going to go ahead and add, after extracting this data and doing analysis on it, we're going to go ahead and add it to Google Sheet. To be able to add it to Google Sheet, I'm going to just add a new Google Sheet, and I'm going to give it a name such as Twitter seed investors from Twitter. So I'm going to add a couple of columns here. So we're going to add a Twitter name, description. Let's add followers count so we know how important these people are, because as everybody knows, the followers count is your most important attribute other than your Facebook friends. So now we have this sheet ready. What we're going to do is we're going to add a new connector operation, and for that we're going to use the Google Sheets. So this is Google Sheets. We already have a connector which is pointing to my account, which is also can be easily added using OAuth. OAuth just means entering your login in and allowing this app, giving it permission to access and manipulate some of your data. So this step is just going to be adding the data to Google Sheet. So what we want to do is resource values, append values. Now here is where it gets interesting. As you can see, this is the spreadsheet that I created, and it's going to automatically appear in this dropdown. The sheet name here is sheet 1, but I'm not going to enter it. It's not really required. And these these are the columns A, B, C, D, as you can see here. So I'm going to add some values in there. The first value I'm going to add is a Twitter name, Twitter username. So here is a name. The second column is description. So same thing, description. The third column is number of followers, also pretty easy to do. Followers count, boom. And the last one we are going to add, this one gets a little bit more interesting because we are going to add the key phrases that got extracted. Now we don't want to add just a dictionary. This is, we have to add a little bit of a code here. And what I'm going to do is, instead of just passing in like this array as it is, I'm going to change it and I'm going to convert it into a string with comma, which is comma delimited. And to do that, you use a JavaScript command called join. So this is steps, key phrases, blah, 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 response documents, key phrases that join. This is automatically going to get the key phrases, all of them, and join them together and insert them into a Google Sheet. So let's see what happens now. I'm going to save it, even though it's saved automatically. But, you know, so there's a save button, so you got to click on it. So now I'm going to click on run, and then let's see what happens now. Oh, well, something is happening, and it looks like it's doing exactly what we want it to do. So after it hits around 10, as you can see, it's running, and you can kind of follow along. After around 10 of them, it should end. So it's row 11, which means 10 of them, and as you can see, it's working as expected. Now, like, to actually get it working fully, we want to we can change the count to maximum, which is 20. And after that, to a little bit more advanced example is adding more of a paging and handling some of the limitations of Twitter API, which is you know, a certain number of requests per minute per hour. But for a simple example, it seems like it's working, and here are the results. That's it. Back to you, Naresh.
So Eric, so I do have a question on regarding the when you did the key phrase extraction and the steps and call the Java script function. Can you pretty much call any type of JavaScript on the steps?
Yeah, you can call most of the functions that are available in JavaScript language, and also there's several libraries that are available. Commonly used libraries. So, but this also you can, if for more complex, complicated functionality, you can add actual JavaScript, custom script, and here you have like a big window where you can do if, then, and any other coding that you're looking to do. So it allows you to, if you want to get a bit more into coding, our system is flexible enough to let you do it.
All right, cool. I think that this is a great demo. I think we can enhance this CRM by probably enriching the data, which we can come back in part 2 next week. So what we want to do next is essentially find all these people and then potentially find their company's website, then see if we can actually find their email so that we can either reach out to them or at least interact with them on Twitter. So the next demo I think we can do is maybe potentially liking some of their tweets, which has a better engagement, and then trying to understand what they're talking about in an overall structure and what their engagement level is within Twitter. So we want to understand, you know, if they're a fintech seed investor or on the no-code space. So we want to analyze some of their tweets and see, you know, what type of conversation they were having in Twitter. I hope you enjoyed this demo, and thanks for joining whoever joined us. Thank you. Bye-bye.